All right, peace, peace, peace. Just want to come back with a quick video, man. No, I was thinking about this last on a few days ago, man. Today's the 7th, so I was like, Lord, let's look at it. I was thinking about this in Joshua 7 real quick, man. But it just all ties into the gospel, man. How gotta look at it through the Most High. No, that's not in Joshua 7, but in Joshua again. But I was like, no, it's not the 7, but not chapter 7, but chapter 9. But no, I'll go into it because it was popping on my mind on my way home, man. But it just all goes into the gospel, man. Also too, man, how the let's just look at this real quick, man. Joshua chapter 9 verse we just gonna give a little recap, man, because it was certain this is when Joshua when we was about to enter into the land, and there was certain Hamites people, Hamitic people, man. I forgot what were they they were good. They were oh my gosh, where were they at? Oh gosh, what nationality were they? I think they were were they Gibeonites or not Gibeonites? They're pretty much they're pretty Hamitic, man, and they were Gibeonites, man. Yeah, so they were Gibeonites, man. So and pretty much, man, they lied to Joshua, saying they came from a far country and things and the people they lied to Joshua and the people saying they came from a far country and And meanwhile, the whole time they were they were actually right where we were about to head. So, if you read Joshua 9, if you read it, and the Most High Yahushua, and Joshua was pretty much the Most High Yahushua ends up cursing these men for lying, man. But I just wanted to get on this part, focus on verse 12, real quick in Joshua 12. I recommend y'all read Joshua 9. It says, "This is our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth unto you. But now behold, it is dry and moldy, and these are bottle of wine, which we were filled and were new, and behold, they be rent, and these be our garments and our shoes, and they are become as old by reason reason of the long journey." So also to the verse 12, it kind of can be parabolic or symbolic to Yahushua's parable about the wine, who put new wine in old bottles and things like that. You kind of be parable with that, but also too parallel with that. But also too, man, this is going to what is this whole thing getting at too as well? Why am I bringing this up? Because this goes into the 2 Corinthians, and also too during the time of the apostles and the disciples when the gospel being preached, man. There was certain like Jude says, brethren that crept in unawares. There are men that crept in unawares, and the same thing here. Because then they say what they brought bread and wine. So what bread and wine is? Bread and wine is just spiritually, man. What the bread and wine of Yahushua, like John 6, and he said, listen, this is the bread of my wine. This is for the new covenant, for the New Testament, man. That's what it is. But notice how these men they brought it, but they were lying, man. So and also too, I want to talk about this, man. Let's grab this, man. 2 Corinthians real quick, because I want to touch on this as well, because I was just thinking about this, and the brother assembly firstborn for let's just grab this Jude real quick, then I'm gonna hit that, because that's what that prayer is, God, as far as in the gospel, in the Acts of the Apostles and things of that nature, through that odds, this Joshua 9 and 12 is the men that crept in unawares, even though they were heathens, but shoot, doesn't matter, that shoot, the words are two-edged sword. But let's get Jude chapter 1 verse 3. Yes, it says Jude chapter 1 verse 3. Jude chapter 1 verse 4, I'm sorry, it said, "For there are certain men who crept in unawares, who before were of old ordained this condemnation, ungodly men, turned the grace of our God into lasciviousness, and denying the only Lord Yahweh and our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach." So these in Joshua 9, these Gibeonites are akin to that, man, because they said they had the bread and wine, and it's they represent the false prophets, false things of that nature, men that crept in unawares. The gospel wise, man. Because I was looking at it, I was like, okay, this is what that is. Because I was just thinking about this, man. Because I was meditating, thinking about it. It's it was just all this was also very similar to it was very similar in aspect of principles of the situation was a little bit different, but it was similar to Matthew 2 when Herod trying to bring gifts to Yahushua when he's trying to kill him. But But this is kind of similar, but they weren't trying to kid. They were just being deceitful. They brought gifts, things of that nature. But it was it was pretty much like that Proverbs 23 too. And actually was looking at earlier. It was kind of the gifts of deceit, vanities of meat, deceitful me. It was really not that, and they ended up being cursed. So it's this lie, but But yeah, man, let's grab that in 2 Corinthians real quick, man, because I want to touch on this real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter no, because it goes into whole Lucifer and Satan things of that nature. But I was just thinking about this earlier. It says and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light. So see, thing is here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about this, man. Because it's just tying in. Because I was looking at the other day on Printerville, this is there's a there was a Bumblebee shirt, man. It was pretty nice, a little Bumblebee jersey. I was like, no, I might, Lord willing, get that. Well, not soon, but whenever financially I get myself together. But yeah, it was a Bumblebee shirt, man. I was just thinking about Transformers. I'm like, listen, if like this, let's look at this, man, because let's just look at this. It says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So this whole Lucifer and Satan thing, I get it. It was taught, and I get people that don't understand. It's all right, man. That was the way it was taught, conventional ways. Listen, at one point, I thought that at one point being in Christianity, even before I came into the world, you think that, because that's just what people took at. It was like, I don't know, the brother at Assembly Firstborn had mentioned a book. It was certain Edomite, certain Caucasian man that just made that up, and people just ran with it. But you just gotta think about, listen, if Satan is an angel, if he has to transform himself, that means he's not actually angel light. That means he's actually not who he is, man. And also too, it's talking about the spirit of Satan, man. Because remember, Sirach even says that Satan casts out Satan. It is what it is. It's talking about the spirit of Satan. This is also talking about those like the men that crept in unawares, those deceitful men, false prophets, or whatever things that nature. It's talking about them. That's what it's talking about. It's pretty much lined up with Jude 1 and 3. But it's just like Transformers. Like when you see the Transformers transform, or y'all seen cartoons in the Transformer movies. Are the Transformers actually when they're transformed? Are they actually cars? No, that's not their real form. So no, they they actually transform. That's not what they are. So if Satan has to transform to angel light, that means he's not an angel light. Just like that brother Assembly Firstborn perfectly said, man, listen, come from where you come from a lot of times, or this is what it is being real. Like you can't tell the difference between a fake nigga and the real nigga. That's what it is. That's what all this is really saying. That's really what it is. A fake one and a real one. That's what it's really saying, man. And that's what that Malachi 3 is about, man. No, let's get that. And also too, you don't always have to with this too. This is where Genesis 30 and 33 comes in, man. You don't always have to say certain things, man, because a lot of times, a lot of people just put people on blast, or I had to expose. This is in the spiritual sphere as well. It's not just brother sister in the word which I see, but this is all across the spiritual sphere. People are brothers sisters in Christianity, Jehovah's Witnesses. I was talking to a Jewish lady at my job. They say they do stuff like this, we got to expose this and that, or that all ties into the spirit of I am of Paul, I'm of Apollos, different congregation, camp, or whatever organization going against an organization. So you don't always have to expose people that you perceive, or people that you know that's a false prophet, or this. You always have to speak on everything, and the word says that, man. So a lot of times it is what it is. You peep certain things, all right, cool. You don't think your house shot peeped Judas the whole time, certain things he already knew, and other things that happen in the word, and just you don't always have to speak on things. All right, some things are just unsaid. All right, cool. That's where that Proverbs 22 and 3 comes in. Listen, poor man foreseeth evil when he removes himself, or you already know what they're gonna do before they do it. So all right, cool. I'm pretty sure that happens, man. So you always have to do it, because how should I say it? Listen, whatever dark will come into the light, just like we just the angel light, whatever. But even though that's a little different, but I'm just saying that light will come out eventually, man. Even if it's a false light, like we just read with 2 Corinthians, with the men that crept in unawares that have experienced Satan, is going to come out eventually, man. So just like they say in the old world, or in the real life, the real you is eventually going to come out, man. So and also too, that's something for another day I want to talk about too. But yeah, man, that's like what they said. Real you's eventually gonna come out, man. But the house I said, listen, you'll know them by your fruit. So, but yeah, then you just go into that discern like things in nature. You can't tell a real one from a fake one. Verse Malachi 3:18. Then ye shall return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, but between him that serveth Yahweh and him that serveth him not. So yeah, man, that's what it is with that, man. But it all goes into that, like you know. Cause yeah, man, that's just another misconception of this. And marvel not, for saying himself has transformed into an angel of light. So yeah, man, that's it. So if he has a transform to it, that means that that's not him. Like just like shoot Power Rangers or something like that. Just like when they had the morph, that wasn't their actual. Like no, that's a bad example. I'll use a Transformers example, but yeah, that's just is what it is. That's not their actual form. Like, Frieza said, this isn't my final form. I'm kidding, but yeah, I'm joking. But no, seriously, man, that's just, it is what it is, man. That's just not the thing, too. But that's what that Joshua, if you look at it through gospel points standpoint, that's what those Gibeonites men were here to represent. Because what they had bread and wine, but what they said the wine was moldy, things of that nature, and the wine was pretty much old, no good. But they're like pretty much during the time possible. Let's get Luke chapter 58 real quick. Luke chapter 5 real quick, man. Because those false they heard the preaching the gospel, new covenant things in nature. They came into it like but still really want the old, but they just came into it like pretty much just tried what that's why Yahushua in Psalm says, "Blessed with the man that's without God or deceit," or how Yahushua was the man without God and deceit, or how Revelation 14 goes into the ones that follow him that will be without God and deceit. They pretty much came in the right type of time, man. So gospel wise, looking at Joshua 9 and 9 and 12 and Joshua 9, that's what that is representative, because they were still they're still on that old, man, because they said, listen, the bread is old and moldy and the wine. Let's get this Luke chapter 5 though. Luke chapter 5 and verse 38, it says, but new wine must be preserved into new bottles, but both are preserved. Like, exactly. So exactly that. See through that, like that the new covenant, man, the gospel, man, the testimony of Most High Yahushua, you'll be preserved. Because remember, what did that's all faith. Because what did Jacob say? Listen, no, even on this side, just that goes with that Mark 10:30. Because what did Jacob say when during Jacob's ladder? He said, listen, the Most High Yahushua preserved my life. Not only not only on this side, even his natural life as well. And in the kingdom to come. Because what then Yahushua say in Matthew 8, the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will be in the kingdom. So yeah, it was on both sides. He preserved his life, like his whole life, and also too his in the kingdom to come. Same thing like Paul said in 2 Timothy, he had preserved me for the kingdom, the inward kingdom and the physical kingdom, man. So that's what that is, man. So yeah, man. Even in that preservation, man, they're gonna go through trials and tribulations. Because even after that, man, then Jacob, go through it. Then he said, "I'm gonna mourn all my days," because he thought he lost Joseph, and he went through his trials and tribulations. So yeah, man. But that goes into Acts 14:22. But yeah, Luke chapter 5 verse 38. It says, "But new wine must be put into old bottles, into new bottles. But new wine must be put into new bottles, and both are preserved. No man hath drunken the old wine, and straightway desireth new. For he said, the old is better." So yeah, that's what those what you call them, those men were probably going into, man, with those even unto this day, of course. But those coming into the gospel things in nature, they were going into they were really of the old and stuff like that. They were really of that type of stuff, or really against it, the testimony of the Most High Yahushua and the faith. But they were just whatever intentions they had. But let's go back to Joshua let's go back to Joshua. Joshua chapter 9 verse 13. Yeah, it says, and the bottles of wine which were filled were new, exactly. But see, it's lining up saying spiritually. Let's look at this. And behold, they be rent. Pretty much they're old. Then because then they say, then the Most High say in Deuteronomy about in us in the wilderness, our garments our clothes didn't rent or something like that, or then wax old. Pretty much rent, kind of the same thing. They be rent, and these are garments, and our shoes are become old. Yeah, just like it's like we just said, by reason of a very long journey. So yeah, man, I just wanted to go into that real quick, man. Hopefully it's edifying for y'all, man. So it is what it is, man. So yeah, man. So peace. Hopefully, most high in your house shall bless your day. I wanted to talk about something else, man, but I want to get into that, but I might talk about that later, Lord willing. Yeah, man, because yeah, man, that's what. Yeah, I'll talk about that later, Lord willing. So yeah, hopefully this is this was edifying for you, brothers and sisters. So peace.